Good morning, everybody. My name is Dale Sims, and I am a veteran storm chaser and storm chaser for NOAA and the National Weather Service office here. And I wanted to make a video breaking down tomorrow's severe weather setup here across the Central Plains, here where we're potentially looking at a potentially high-end wind event here for the Central Plains here. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what my latest thoughts are regarding tomorrow and what is forecast. The camera around here. So we're taking a look here at two separate models here, okay? So here on the left, we're taking a look here at the future radar, all right? And this is at noon tomorrow, 12 p.m. And then on the right side here, this is the current storm prediction outlook for Saturday, okay? So let's first break down this severe weather outlook, okay? So you see how the entire outlook encompasses the Central Plains, Central Great Plains here. If you live across central Missouri, southwest Missouri, you're under a marginal risk all the way up into southern Iowa here. And then from Kansas City back over to southwest Kansas and all the way up into most of Nebraska, here you are under a slight risk here for severe weather, meaning that there could be scattered severe storms possible. And then in that orange area here where my mouse is, this is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe weather. This is where the best possibility for seeing significant damaging winds, very large hail of 2 inches diameter, and a few strong tornadoes are also possible. All right, so that's the current outlook that has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center overnight. This will be updated again here at 12:30 Central Time here. So now moving over here to future radar, let's go ahead and zoom this in a little bit. All right, and you see how we're at noon tomorrow, okay? And this model wants to depict a complex of showers and thunderstorms across most of Nebraska here at noon, okay? Now, as we move on here through the day, let's go to 3 p.m., okay? And you see how it gains intensity here. Radar wants to show that complex gaining intensity in terms of rainfall and lightning and thunder, and maybe even some gusty winds here as it approaches Omaha and eastern Nebraska, all right, and close to even western Iowa, okay? So again, this is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Now you see across most of the enhanced risk, excluding the northern part of the enhanced risk, there's nothing on radar yet, okay? The atmosphere is still juicing up. It's still cooking and brewing here to develop thunderstorms. All right, so now if we go through, and let's go ahead and stop it here, we are at 7 p.m. All right, and you see here now the radar really lights up according to this model solution, and it shows storms already growing upscale into a line here. I will push back on this a little bit because I think storms are going to initially start in supercell mode here in discrete. And those will have the best opportunities for seeing 2-inch hail or larger, and even a few strong tornadoes here across western Kansas, northwest Kansas, into southeast Nebraska. Okay, now as we go through the evening here, then it shows these storms growing more upscale, but kind of becoming disorganized. And this is 11 p.m. Now you see let's go and adjust this radar here. You see how that whole line moves east, okay, and across central and eastern Kansas and approaching far western Missouri here overnight tomorrow night. Now, again, I think this model solution, it is kind of downplaying the intensity of these storms. Here, I do not think they're going to be this much outflow dominant and undercutting the intensity here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this back to one screen so it's easier for everybody. And we were taking a look at the HREF model here, and let me bring this back up to, let's bring it back on up here to the latest NAM North American model here, okay? So now you can see right off the bat, this is at 10 p.m., and the NAM, the latest 12Z NAM shows, again, supercell mode even at 10 p.m., and you see it's a lot farther west here than what the HREF model solution was suggesting. So, and it doesn't show the entire complex growing upscale and moving into eastern Kansas and western Missouri until 4 a.m. Sunday. So the general idea here is that supercells are possibly going to initially form across western Kansas. Okay, and here, let me give me a second. Okay, there we go. So supercells are initially going to form out here in western Kansas, even southwest Nebraska. Here and along the boundary, and then grow upscale into a line, and this is what's going to produce the significant damaging winds. The strong tornado threat right now does appear across central southern Nebraska, northern Kansas, northwest Kansas. I think the tornado risk will be adjusted, because if in fact we do see storms in the middle of the day tomorrow across most of Nebraska, I think this is going to undercut the tornado potential, because it'll be a messier storm mode and less access to the low-level jet to really cause some spin in the atmosphere here. So we'll see. I currently have the tornado risk here slightly more to the east here, basically from Kansas City back west, and I'll explain why here in a second. The greatest damaging wind risk here is seen as 75 mile per hour or greater, appears across central and northern Kansas, in southern and southeast Nebraska, here where that 30% area is. And again, I think that's pretty spot on still. Once these storms grow upscale here into a line, it's going to march across Kansas and eastern Kansas and even into western Missouri overnight tomorrow night. All right, and then regarding our hail risk here, for the greatest opportunity for 2-inch hail or larger is going to be focused here across northwest Kansas and southern Nebraska here. And because the idea is that as these storms grow upscale and they march east here across central eastern Kansas, even western Missouri, here there's going to be less opportunity for very large hail, and it's going to become more damaging wind dominant here, and even a few QLCS tornadoes are possible here. Okay, so I also wanted to show you this other graphic here, this other model here. This is from the Storm Prediction Center's short-range ensemble forecast model. Okay, and what we're looking at here is MU Cape, shear here, and also the SRH here, storm relative helicity. Okay, and this is around 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, and you can really see here, and I'll even zoom this in for you guys a little bit. Okay, so I do have the outlook hatched on here. Let me remove that so you can kind of see. You see how all the ingredients here line up here to support supercell development here between the shear, the storm relative helicity here, and all that. So it's going. Supercells are going to likely form in this region here, here across eastern Nebraska and to western Kansas, if morning storm mode doesn't undercut the atmosphere in the afternoon. Okay, but then here, oops, wrong one. Then let's go ahead and look at this other map here. This is still from the Storm Prediction Center short range ensemble forecast. Now we're taking a look at the significant tornado parameter here, and again, this is for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening combined. All right, so you see it really hatches out into central and western Kansas, and even into northwest Nebraska, where currently the Storm Prediction Center has the highest probabilities for strong tornadoes here, E of 2 or greater. Now, my consensus is on tomorrow's setup is, again, storms are going to form here along a line, and here, let's go back here. All right, so my idea here is storms are going to form in supercell mode across western Kansas here, and we can get to it. There we go. And then they're going to grow upscale tomorrow evening, move east along I-70 in Kansas, approaching eastern Kansas, western Missouri overnight tomorrow night, and again, damaging winds here, isolated 75 mile per hour or greater are possible, along with some spin-ups along the leading edge of the line. And specifically for Kansas City, eastern Kansas, western Missouri, you've had a very active year with tornado warnings and tornadoes this year. The National Weather Service office in Kansas City, Pleasant Hill has issued 88 tornado warnings for their jurisdiction coverage area here. So, and most of them come from overnight events that with MCS complexes and spin-ups along the leading edge. So just because you're not in the strongest tornado risk here, do not disregard it here, because all modes are on the table as this complex moves towards eastern Kansas and west. So that's my current thoughts regarding tomorrow's setup here across the Central Plains. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does in their 12:30 p.m. update, if they make any changes, any outlook adjustments here, but it is certainly something to warrant and keep an eye on. And regardless of where you live, if you're under severe risk tomorrow here, have your severe weather safety plan ready, have a reliable source to receive watch and warning information to keep you and your family safe during severe weather. Have a great day, everybody.